What is up, good people? What is up? What is up, good people? On this beautiful spring day, as I record this, um, at least here in New England. So I want to talk about drive and motivation. I've often been asked, how did you do it? How did you sustain that? How did you go through that? And a couple of things that I've done in my life, and I'm not, I'm a long way from what I wish I could have done, and things along those lines. But people have asked me. I remember, and I had a little bit about me. I had gotten divorced, and I got custody of my kids. Were young kids, and I can remember a friend of mine was like, "I wouldn't have been able to do this. I would not have been able to, bring the kids to school and get them up, get them dressed, and take care of the house, go shopping, and all that kind of stuff, right?" It's like I wouldn't have been able to do that. So I want to talk about drive and motivation. And people have asked me, how did you have that determination to go through with get your degree and all that? And I'm putting this to anything and everything that you want to put your mind to. First, I'm using drive and motivation, probably determination, interchangeably, even though they're not really interchangeable. Drive is more of an internal influence, internal pressure, internal push to get you from one place to another, to never be satisfied or to not be satisfied where you are and to be looking towards the future. Motivation can come from the internal. Motivation can also come from the external, right? The idea that what pushes you causes you to want to excel, and that can come from your own self, and it can also come from parents, loved ones, boss, co-workers, whatever, coaches, right? All that. So what I want to talk about drive and motivation. What motivates you, what drives you, and what propels you to success, and what can propel other people towards success. I can remember, as a kid, my mother, my grandmother, and I, even sometimes my grandfather, we would all sit around watching TV. I mean, we would watch the like animal shows, and I can remember one specific episode where the narrator was, kind of doing his thing there, and then it was an animal. I don't know if it was a lion or some big cat, lion or leopard, and he had gone after some prey, and the prey got away. And my mother said, wasn't hungry enough. Is this guy serious? And my mother said it wasn't hungry enough, and I kind of thought about that, obviously years later, I'm still thinking about that. Now, there's a lot that can be unpacked from that. It could be said that the lion was simply lacking the sufficient nutrients, caloric levels, etc., to propel them to catch it. Could have been that the prey was more motivated, more determined to get away. So there's a lot more. But what stuck to me was, and the point of it was, I think that my mother was trying to get me to understand, is that if you're hungry enough, if you want it enough, you'll push and you'll get it done. You say that again. If you're hungry enough, if you want it bad enough, you will push and you will get it done. And motivation, determination, the payoff is the reward. When people ask me, how did you do whatever? I know people in their 40s went back and got their black belts in jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, gi and no gi. What propels somebody to do that, to put their body through that? And if it's a completely different, there's different muscles that are used in all this, right? So what propels somebody to go back and get their BJJ, black belt, to lose weight, to gain weight, to bulk up, to put on mass, to completely transform their body, completely transform their mind by getting a degree, completely transform a lot of different things about themselves. What compels them to do that? And the answer is simply the reward, at the end of the rainbow, the payoff, the benefit. That is what propels somebody to do it. And I'm going to say something very controversial, right? In the performance psychology world, is that, some people have it. Some people have this natural, innate drive for success. They are highly motivated individuals. You see it in corporate CEOs, you see it in attorneys, you see it in sports athletes. I don't know where it's cut off at. Something happened there. You see it in sports athletes. You see it in doctors. I talked about I had an issue. I had a triple bypass a number of years ago. And, I had a couple of different problems that were going on medically. And I can remember talking to an eye doctor and, talking to her about, this, that, and the other. And then I talked to her about the thoracic surgeon who performed my triple bypass. And she was like, oh, those thoracic surgeons, they're a different breed. They're a different breed. And it's true, because and I'm talking about motivation here, right? I can remember being in the hospital after my surgery. And it's 11 o'clock at night. Now, thoracic surgeons work on an emergency type basis, right? They're working constantly around the clock, because if they don't get it done, there's a potential that the person who they're dealing with could die. So they work on an emergency type basis. So after my surgery, it's like 11 o'clock, it's 11 o'clock at night, I can't sleep. And the surgeon comes in. And I'm looking at the clock like, dude, I'm in pain. I got hopped up on pain medication. But I remember this guy, like, what are you doing here? You came to see me at 11 o'clock at night? He's like, oh, no, I'm about to perform a surgery. I just wanted to come and see about you. I'm like, man, and then a few months later, when I'm healed and stuff, I go see the eye doctor, and she starts telling me that they're a different breed. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I remember this guy coming to see me and stuff. So they're a different breed. So what motivated that thoracic surgeon to go through the training? What motivates any other doctor, particularly surgeons, to go through through what they go through? What propels Navy SEALs, right? And if you do any psychology study about Navy SEALs or any other special forces individuals, right? They're highly intelligent people. They're not some dumb grunts. They're highly intelligent, highly motivated people. And so my point is that some people have this and some people don't. But I also want to make the point that isn't talked about enough is the motivation aspect, right? I talked about that was all drive that I talked about, right? It's internal, yada, yada, yada. But motivation can be developed. Motivation can be something that you can set a goal for that you can achieve. It does not have to be static. It does not have to be stagnant. Does not have to be, you don't have to be where you are today in 5 years. You can advance. You can set goals, right? It's about rewards and goals. I wanted my degree. People want a BJJ license. They want to become Navy SEALs. They want to become surgeons. They want to become whatever it is. And they're not going to let anyone or anything stand in their way. And as much as to my mother's point is, if you are hungry enough, you'll get it done. And the problem and the reason that people don't get things done is because they're not hungry enough. And if you are hungry enough, internally, you can get it done. But I'm challenging people to develop that motivation for whatever it is. And it really is about keeping your eyes on the prize, because it's easy to faint, to fall out, to quit. It's easy to faint, fall out, and quit. It's easy to say, why do I want to do this? I can remember thinking about when I was going through my degree program. I'm like, man, why am I doing this to myself, right? It's the pandemic. I can be just sitting here playing video games. I had probably enough credentials to start my own consulting business and all that. That's a reason that I wanted to propel in this direction, is to get my degree is to make myself more marketable. And so I'm thinking to myself, I really probably have enough. I did a lot in the police department. I already got my master's degree. What more do I need? So, I conquered that type of self-talk because it was getting difficult, right? I'm writing papers, 20-page papers. I'm doing this, right? And it's, after a while, it starts to bleed and blend together. It's like, oh man, I wrote about this already. I remember one class, it was like we wrote about this already. What am I talking about here? So, but at the end of the day, I had to talk myself into it. I talk a lot about self-talk and motivation, and I moved myself, I motivated myself, I propelled myself because I had a goal in mind, and that goal in mind was establishing myself, setting precedents for my children, opening up and propelling my consulting business, my coaching business. And that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I wanted to be. Internal drive, as well as external pressures, external influences. And that's what motivated me in order to get this thing done. So that's what I want to do for you, is to motivate you to get this thing done. Lose weight, work out, fix your relationship, you name it. Gain weight, change your body, change your life, change your mind, change your life. To get these things done. And it's really, that was the motivation. That was it. In a nutshell, that was it. So what does it take? The bottom line is you have to set up a goal and reward. I talked about mission statement, vision statements for your life, and you have to set up a reward for your life. What is the end of the rainbow? What is that? What is the end result? What does the end look like for you? What is that reward? What does that look like for you? Is it a promotion? Is it losing weight, gaining weight, getting a relationship, getting out of a relationship? Although, I don't really want to push that too much. I think that the goal really should be to fix relationships. Having children, you set the goal for yourself, and you ask yourself, what is the end result of that thing? And I think that if you set a good lofty goal for yourself, and if you set a good lofty goal for yourself, then you will achieve it. But you have to keep your eyes on the prize, as they would say. It's easy to faint, fall out, quit, give up, throw in the towel. 50% of people who start a PhD program don't finish. I don't know the statistics of master's degrees. I don't know the statistics of those who are seeking other venues, right? What is the success rate? What is the success rate of SEALs? I don't know it off the top of my head. I'll Google it, but I want to say it's like 12%, something like that, maybe less, 10, 12% of people who go through SEAL training and other special forces training. I don't know what it is for dropout rates, but some professions are highly motivated, right? I think lawyers. I'll try to look this up and try to put it up there. Lawyers is something like 90%. Doctors, the same thing. So I try to look this up as far as what the percentages is. So I hope I said something today that is really going to motivate you to keep on, right? And I'm using that term deliberately, to motivate you to keep your eyes on the prize, to keep your focus on the goal. You need external push sometimes. We all need external pushes sometimes to get this thing done, and to remind ourselves that we can do it. You can do it. You can be successful. You can achieve it. If you can believe it, you can see it, you can achieve it. If other people can do it, then you can do it, right? It's not like it's an impossible task. Every Navy SEAL who walks into Bud's camp, I would imagine, can imagine that there are other Navy SEALs. There are other people with master's degrees, other people with doctorates, there are other people who are thoracic surgeons, other people who are eye surgeons, other people who are, you're not the first one to do it. So if other people can do it, then you can do it. It can be done. It can be done. Other people lost weight, you can lose it. Other people gain weight, become bodybuilders, got their black belts. It can be done. So take a lesson from my mother's message, from the cat who wasn't successful that day. Be hungry, be motivated, get it done. Hope I said something that motivates you. And till next time, much love and peace. Make sure you rate, subscribe, and share.